Hi guys, if you can hear me and also see the screen, say you can see my screen. Okay, excellent. So today's let's see, give me a second. Okay, today's webinar we are continuing with media buys, and I'm going to keep this one very short. I don't want to go too much for too long. Today I'm going to mainly start off with where I left off in terms of getting credit terms, and I'll explain a bit of what I mean by that, right? So with media buys, because the investment is so large, you can create long-term credit and also do what you call short-term payments to have great cash flow. That's really good for someone who's looking to do some major things. So let me just continue where I left off. With credit, there are certain things which you absolutely need to have. So you don't necessarily have to have these things right now, but I want you to have all this information so that as you grow, as your business grows, you can have all these things in place. So remember, you don't have to have all these things in place. The first thing which you need to have is what? A company name, right? Then you need to provide how many years you've been in business. And if you are hiring any people, all those things can easily hire from the Philippines, things like that. Number of what? Employees. So guys, as I go through all of these things, right, you see, most of you are not yet even close to that. I'm just dotting my I's and crossing all T's. I'm not going to assume that you guys are complete newbies or anything like that. It's my job to give you all the information so that as you grow, you are capable of what? Growing to those kind of levels. Because each and every business, the amount of money you put in it determines how far you can go, and being able to get lines of credit and things like that, trust me, that goes a long way. The other thing they are going to require for you are what? Bank references. But to verify that you actually have some money in your bank, right? Because here now we are dealing with large amounts. That's how you scale up to let's say 50,000 a day, things like that. I'm talking really big numbers, right? You need trade references. You don't need everything, but these are, I'm going to just lay out everything you are going to need, and you can basically take advice from your account manager, right? You need to have a positive, sorry, I need a new line. You need to have a positive BBB rating. a Better Business Bureau, right? BB status. You can easily pay them. They'll give you a status any status which you want, as long as what you're paying, they'll give you a good rating. With a free account, you know you struggle to get a good rating, right? So normally they'll give you a net 30. That means you pay every 30 days, net 30 split payments. And now, when you're getting, this is now very important, right? Those are the only things which you need. When you are getting lines of credit, you need to be extremely, extremely, extremely smart about it, right? Only use the money on proven campaigns only. Don't gamble the money, right? Only use the money on proven campaigns, because you need to pay afterwards, right? So make sure you're using on proven campaigns. That's very, very, very important, right? So now this allows you to do what we call scaling up. You've got now a higher cash flow. So what do you need? When it comes to scaling up, scaling and improving your results. Scaling and improving results. Let me just see before I go too far the questions which I have here. Glad to hear you. Oh, thank you. Okay, excellent. So let me continue. There are no questions. So now the focus now is you've got lines of credit. Now you need to scale up. There are certain things which you need to do. Remember in the previous webinar, I mentioned that make sure you get out your frequency caps. One was 50% in 5 days. The other one was what? 100% in 10 days, right? So what you do is you remove those caps which you will have what? Negotiated on, and you let it run. Remove caps, but you need to do it what? Slowly, in a fast way, and you monitor your what? Your results, right? Then you also, in order also to get more traffic, what you can do, you go for alternative inventory, like, okay, let me write it. You go for alternative inventory. I'm going to write everything down. I know this is a very confusing topic. Examples, let's just, like email, where they send emails on your behalf. Text links. I'm going to do a webinar on text links because these are pretty good and pretty decently priced. And there are things like pop-ups and pop-unders and etc. Right? Basically, you just what? Increase the different ways of them sending traffic to you, right? Another thing, remember everything with CPA networks, everything is not set on stone. So you negotiate after some time, you negotiate a lower CPM. Remember, CPM stands for cost per 1,000 impressions, right? You negotiate a lower CPM, And something which I advocate every day, non-stop, this is something which you never have to stop. You continue optimizing your campaigns, your ads. Make sure you continue improving, testing, improving. This is very, 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 very important. Do it as much as possible. And at these levels, you need to also continue to what? Improve your funnel. Test different capture pages. Make sure you're getting better EPCs. That EPC stands for earnings per click, right? So that's also very, very important. Make sure you crossing all the T's and whatever. Then another thing which is very, very important, right? This they won't do straight away. You need to what? To make that network your affiliate. How do you do it? You negotiate CPA deals, right? You are going to only pay them if a particular action happens, like you pay them per lead. That's like they're driving traffic to your capture pages and you're only paying per lead. So that's a very, very big deal. If you can get networks as your own affiliates, that's like printing money on demand. Does that make sense? Give me a yes, give me a no. I'm waiting for some responses here. That is unless you can't hear me anymore. Then, okay, now let's go deeper into these networks, right? There are different networks, and you've got other networks like Google Display Network, right? Google Display Network, that one, you might need to go to the Google Display Network after you have mastered other networks, because the Google Display Networks, there are so many variables which are involved, from a high quality score, the click-through rates, then and the bid which you actually place. There are so many factors which affect where your ad is going to be, from relevance, a lot of things, a lot of things. So what I'm going to go some of the things you need to know about the Google Display Network, so that when you are playing there, you totally understand exactly what's going on. There are other networks, and I'm going to break them down one by one, so that when you go back and you go through all of the series of videos on this media advice, you will totally get a full picture. That way, you know you've got all the T's which are dotted and all those things, right? So one thing which you need to remember is that let me just write. This is the Google Display Network. Okay, first thing which you need to remember is everything works on an auction basis, right? Which means the highest bidder wins, right? And you need to also remember that Google is a business. Their goal is to make as much money from you as possible, and they are not police. Don't be scared if they send you an email to say you need to what? Change this and change that, right? And remember, because it's a business, you need to make sure that you give them what we call a high click-through rate. High CPM, right? And guess what? If you're getting a high click-through rate and things like that, that's good. So with you now, you want to make sure that your CPM is also very high, right? Your click-through rate and things like that. If you do that, you want make money because there's good quality traffic which you want, which you are getting from what? Google. These are actual people searching for particular keywords, right? So how do you win the auctions? First one, you bid high. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is you need to have a high click-through rate. Remember, when people are clicking through your ads, and guess what? They are what? Making money. So when I say high click-through rate, make sure it's a 0.1% and higher, right? If it's 0.00, you need to do something to improve those numbers. You need to have what we call a high. You need to have what we call a high quality score. They are very, very, very particular about that, right? So when you've got these three things in place, guess what? This allows you to compete with that other ads, even though your ads are new and all those things, and you get higher what ad placements, and you get a higher click-through rate, and you get cheaper clicks and quality leads. So why do you want a high click-through rate, right? When you're getting a lot of clicks, right, Google normally rewards you by what? A lower cost per click. So you need to make sure that what? You have got what? A high click-through rate. And the next one, relevance. Relevance is very, very important. Why is it important? Google wants, when a person clicks to your site, for those visitors to be able to get quality information. That's why they insist on what? Relevance, right? The more relevant your site is, or your page, your capture page is, the what? The higher the quality score. The higher the quality score, the cheaper your clicks, right? Relevance. Let's just say results in a high quality score. And it leads to what? Leads to cheaper clicks, right? And when you get cheaper clicks and you're getting a high click-through rate, guess what? More volume which is sent to you by Google, because they want to make more money from you. That's how it just what works. So don't forget, cheaper clicks allows you to get what? More traffic, and relevance allows you to get what? Cheaper what you call it, bids. So how do you get what good what relevance, and what is what like what is what we call a good quality score? How do you get that, right? There are three factors which are included, and I've already mentioned them. The first thing is landing page, right? Landing page has to have things like um, about us, product, all those different sections, like terms of service. What else is terms of service, about us, contact us, and another page, right? So landing page quality is very important, right? Then content relevance, and the actual click-through rate. That will get you at higher clicks. So the thing is that if you actually deliver good quality stuff, good quality content, you will play on these networks much longer. It might take you a long time to get everything set up, but it's absolutely worth it when you've got everything they need in place and they are sending you traffic. That way, as long as you comply with them, you are good to go. I know a lot of people say, oh, Google slept this, Google slept that. Google slept came about because of people were not following rules. But don't forget, you can always go and open a new account, go get a new bank card, open a completely new account, and you are back on this networks. It's not complicated, so that people like to complicate things. So just keep it simple, do quality pages, follow their guidelines, follow exactly what they say they need, and you are going to be what? Good. You are going to be in these networks for a very long time. What is a good click-through rate, in my opinion? 0.01 and above. 0.01 and above. Does that make sense? So I know I went through a lot of things which a new person completely does not understand. So I'm going to stop here. That way I'm not going to completely confuse you. So when you watch this video again, it will make sense as you go on and on and on. So what I'm basically doing is laying a foundation for one of the biggest traffic sources, period. Right? There's very few things which can beat this one, right? The traffic from this, you can get it cheap, right? That's the status, and you can scale up. And I'm talking 50,000 leads a day, things like that, right? There was a video I did last year. I think it was last year, or was it? Yeah, it was last year. It was 10,000 leads in one day. I was using MediaBuyers, right? And everyone was so amazed. This is so simple once you get to know these things. Does that make sense, guys? No, point. It's 0.1. 0.1. I think I wrote it somewhere. Here, if you look here on my screen, guys, here, click-through rate of 0.1, not 0.01, just 0.1 is a good click-through rate. You got it? Okay, guys, I know a lot of people have been sending. Oh, let me pause. How do I stop the recording? Okay, I'll just stop it right now. A lot of people have been sending me messages, looking for me all day long. Guys, you'll be surprised. I do have a life away from what Real Marketing Masters, right? And sometimes a brother needs to go and de-stress, get away from it all. So today I spent the day in hospital. A friend of mine tried to commit suicide, one of my exes, so that's where I was. So guys, if I don't respond to you, do not take it personal. I do have a life away from this. Anyway, guys, other than that, Abedachi, I'll see you on Monday. I know I didn't share the last two recorded webinars. I'll get the links today and put them in for you guys. Ciao for now. Bye bye.